Today on Goatee and Stache, we're reviewing Iron Man 3, the Gwyneth Paltrow epic.
This video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, get off your ass and go watch it. I'll be here. Hello boys and girls, and welcome to another installment of Movie Reviews with Goatee and Stache. I am your host as always, Don DeGroot. With me, my Tony Stark, Justin Miller.
I do watch Downton Abbey.
Yeah. Today, obviously, as you can see by my shirt, we will be talking about Iron Man, but before we dive into Iron Man...
We'll be talking about the Blackhawks winning in the first round! See you, Minnesota.
Yeah, Blackhawks are definitely good this year. We're very good at the beginning of this year, and if we're not careful, we're going to turn this into a sports segment. Yeah. So,
but anyways,
yeah, we were going to talk about Iron Man, but I actually wanted to first turn it over to Justin to give us a brief synopsis and his personal feelings on Pain and Gain, which I had not seen.
Sucked. It's horrible. It's every Michael Bay cliche thrown into one movie, and there's nothing good about it except for The Rock.
And your grading scale for that one would have been?
Yeah, a solid F.
F.
Even The Rock can't save it, and that is a man who he just makes love to the camera.
Yeah.
He sells the hell out of everything he's in.
Mm-hmm. And if I were to simply grade this on what I know, I would say Rock gives it a solid 2 out of 5. Mark Wahlberg would give it another 1.
Got little T-Rex arms.
T-Rex arms. And because Michael Bay's in it, it would knock it down to 1.5 stars. So.
Tony Shalhoub from Monk is the bad guy in it.
Okay, sorry. We'll make it a 2 then. Tony Shalhoub is...
Alive.
He hasn't done anything for a long time. But he's only well known for TV, so he's not really a movie star in that sense, so he would add a 0.5 star. So I, without watching it, will give it 2 out of 5.
I watched Mama last night, and there's an actor in that who I spent half of the movie trying to figure out if it was Tony Shalhoub or not. Turns out it wasn't.
Just some curly-headed guy?
Yeah, just Tony Shalhoub look-alike.
Alright, so that's that. Throw that away. Who cares about Pain and Gain? Was hoping it was going to be good, but I'm not going to waste my money to go see it. Maybe if it's on Netflix in about 6 months, I'll watch it. And if I'm, drunk and maybe stoned somehow, even though I don't smoke pot. But anyways, let's move on to...
You should mainline heroin.
Heroin?
You should mainline heroin.
Alright, let's move on to the very first blockbuster of the blockbuster season. Of course, Iron Man 3, the third installment of
We're not counting the big wedding? With
Robert
De Niro?
With Robert De Niro. I don't even want to touch that one. But
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. First, the cast, of course, a return of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Tony Stark. And, of course, your favorite actress in Hollywood, Gwyneth Paltrow, reprises her role as Pepper Potts.
Lady Coldplay.
Also, lately has been chosen by a magazine which shall remain unnamed as the most beautiful woman in the world.
Rhymes with sheeples. Or sheeple, I guess.
Sheeple.
Sheeple magazine.
Because those are the people who buy the magazines of sheep. And then some minor character. Well, not really a minor character.
Ben Kingsley was a minor character at best.
Well, we're talking about the returning ones.
Oh, returning. Yeah, Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, he's
Which
the minor
kind of surprised
character.
me because he had problems with Marvel's handling of the second one. I mean, he directed it, but
yeah, he directed the first
two. He blatantly hates that movie because they had to make it a commercial for Avengers.
Yeah.
Which it surprised me that he was in it, but I don't know if he might be contractually obligated.
Well, he was actually an executive producer.
Oh, yeah, was he?
Yeah, he was executive producer. He was on Conan a while back, and he said, when Conan asked him, he's like, well, how do you feel about the fact that you direct the first two in this one? Well, he said, it's a lot easier, Just have to film a little bit, and you don't have to get as involved, so you got to be a little hands-off. But...
Case in point, I don't have to do anything, but I get that sweet Marvel money.
Oh, yeah. But he does still play a pretty small role, but a good one.
He's funny. I like him.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And, of course, Don Cheadle comes back as Rhodey.
I like the switch from Terrence Howard to John Cheadle in the second one,
yeah,
even though I didn't really like either of the second
He definitely flows better. He flows better with Robert Downey Jr. than I think
think he's just probably a better actor.
Yeah. Oh, of course he's a better actor. I mean, look at his body of work.
Outside of Crash.
Yeah.
But Terrence Howard was in that too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to waste time looking up anything related to Crash.
Mm-hmm. And new to the series is, of course, Ben Kingsley as Mandarin. And then we have Guy Pearce as, the name escapes me.
The third bland rival scientist villain for Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jeff Bridges wasn't bland. Jeff Bridges was awesome in the first one.
Yeah, and he wasn't a scientist. He was running a weapons business. He was the businessman.
Rival business science guy. It's all basically the same thing.
But they worked together, so technically they were rival.
Well, at the end they were. We tried to kill him.
True.
That's sweet.
He called him like a little prick or something.
Well, it kind of was in the first one. So fair enough.
He's been called like a prick, a little, everything in these series.
I liked in the movie when he told the one kid not to be a pussy about his dad dying. That made me laugh out loud. That was my favorite part of that movie.
Oh man, yeah, we'll get to some of that. And let's see, any other major characters revealed in this one? I don't think so. I mean, cast-wise, wasn't too much. A lot of extras.
That's not really a guy. It's just a disembodied voice. It was a robot butler.
Oh,
Jarvis.
Jarvis, yeah. Jarvis had some good lines in this one.
As always.
So anyways, let's get to this plot here. It's very sort of interesting the way it starts out. You don't expect a Marvel movie to start over with a voiceover from its main character.
Yeah.
And you're kind of lost at first, kind of like, well, what's going on? And then all of a sudden it gets into a backstory thing, and
it starts with that Blue song from the 90s, and then that I'm Blue, whatever.
Oh!
And then it shows 1999, and that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was a good sight gag.
Yeah, it was
good.
It was pretty. It was kind of an awkward opening, to be honest.
It was weird.
But and more awkward is that you see Jon Favreau with a beautiful mullet.
That's right.
A glorious mullet.
I forgot about that.
And he's like wearing one of those Texas style string ties.
Was he wearing a bolo tie?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
And I was just thinking, really? Was that the style in 1999? I was pretty much alive then, and I don't remember it being 1987.
You did have a Grandpa Simpson
tie. Yeah, so it was kind of just this big surprise. And anyways, you get introduced to your villain character. He's a scientist who has like muscular dystrophy or something.
Adrian Kildrich or something like that. I don't
Kildrich?
remember what his name was.
Yeah.
Something like that. Kill something.
And for some reason, Guy Pearce looks even more creepy as a gimpy guy.
Yeah, he can play a creepy villain good. Well,
Yeah,
he wasn't really creepy when he wasn't gimpy.
Yeah. Although, I mean, they did kind of like, oh my god, he's so hot. And I'm like, really? His teeth kind of bug me. I don't like it. I don't like his, Anyway, so...
He's a good actor, though.
Yeah, so we get the base introduction, and he talks about how he's a changed man, and obviously, he's committed to Pepper now, and they're starting their life together, and...
Tony, not Guy Pearce.
Yeah, not Guy Pearce.
He wants to be committed to Pepper.
Yeah. Apparently, when he was gimpy, he was always hitting on her or something.
Shane Black, the director, apparently his original script had a scene where it flashes back to Guy Pearce and Pepper, and they're just full-on banging that they had to cut out because it's a Marvel movie. I guess he didn't really know. I guess in his weirdo mind, he didn't realize Marvel wouldn't let them have that kind of a flashback.
You mean like it's a real event?
Yeah, like a flashback to Guy Pearce and Gwyneth Paltrow being together and, getting it on.
As a gimp.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyway.
clearly the director is a little bit different from most kind of
Yeah,
big
it's
superhero
definitely
Disney
odd.
movies.
Since
He's the guy that wrote the first 2 Lethal Weapon movies and then Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
So plot line, you get that, and then you have, of course, Tony is dealing with some post-traumatic stress disorder.
From the Avengers.
From the Avengers, and it's causing him all kinds of unrest. He can't sleep. And basically, he's been tinkering and making new suits and new technologies. And
semi-sentient suits, too. That
Yeah.
kind of are
well, Jarvis controls them.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't need a pilot.
Yeah, they don't need a pilot
So
because
much.
Jarvis controls them. And he's got this brand new suit. It's pretty cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
I like the gold and everything. And basically, he's implanted little chips into his body, and you know, to basically call it to himself if he needs it in an emergency situation, which ultimately could have been a problem.
Yeah, but then he's, you know, has his PTSD or whatever, and it's just kind of going along. And then they introduced the Mandarin as a kind of badass Osama bin Laden kind of figure.
Mm-hmm. But with a southern accent, like you talking like this.
With just a very weird manufactured accent, but it kind of works.
Yeah, it kind of works.
It's weird as hell. It's not like weird as in Will Smith in After Earth, where it sounds stupid. It works.
Because I think in After Earth, the accent of Will Smith is. I think we talked about this either off camera, or on camera. I'm not sure. That I think that's their idea of what accents would be once all the populations are together all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so they would eventually mold into something different.
Mm-hmm.
But Ben Kingsley, being, you know, Sir Ben Kingsley, obviously he's British. You know, I almost felt like, well, maybe he's not good at a southern accent, so this is the best they could do.
Yeah.
But anyways,
well, he's Chinese in the comic.
Yeah.
So and he's obviously not Chinese, so he's like got a weird hodgepodge of racial stuff going on that it just kind of works.
Well,
it's hard to explain.
They gave him kind of a Middle East appeal.
Yeah, he's very much a Bin Laden-y.
But I think the idea is Mandarin. I think they said they gave it like some sort of definition.
Mm-hmm.
But the Guy Pearce's character comes on with this extremis, this ability to, you know, get to the untapped potential of the brain and to repair itself, and because obviously he had the muscular dystrophy thing, and that's why he was interested. And then the lady at the beginning of the story that Tony hooks up with, turns out she's studying something that basically they come together on, and they use it on soldiers who have lost limbs in wars and stuff. But this extremis, of course, as many of you have seen, because if you're watching this, you've seen this movie. You know, it can cause explosions and, you know, turn people into bombs.
So the Mandarin is more or less using them as human suicide bombers, more or less against their will, which is a pretty dark plot point for a Marvel movie.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of thought it was going to go into Dark Knight Rises straight up Dark Knight territory, where it's kind of dark and dealing with terrorism and domestic terrorism and a lot of heady ideologies, which it eventually doesn't. But
but what I like about the movie is that it kind of dives into a territory you don't really expect to see in a superhero movie.
At least a Marvel superhero movie, because DC, because like with the Dark Knight trilogy, they got kind of dark.
Yeah, but
Marvel's a little bit.
But that's
more,
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, and you know, that's Warner Brothers giving them a little more. I feel like Marvel is Disney now, so they're gonna not be quite as dark.
Yeah.
Which is what I was pleasantly surprised by for about the first hour, 20 minutes or whatever of the movie.
Because, you know, you see the real effects of Tony Stark is a human. He is a man.
Yeah.
And although he was on the Avengers and he was a huge part of the success in defeating the Chitauri, he is the most vulnerable of all of them, because you got Thor, who's a demigod, controls lightning with his, you know, hammer. The
hammer of looking like the cast of Point Break.
Oh yeah, I love when he calls him Point Break. You know, you got
Captain
America, who's a super soldier from Super Serum and has like this totally badass sort of mentality of, you know.
He's basically Roger Clemens. He's just ripped on roids.
Yeah.
And doesn't really have much going upstairs to.
Yeah, and then you got the Black Widow, who was
Black Widow?
Yeah,
who was more or less raised in Soviet Russia.
Yeah, so Black Widow and Hawkeye are both military. That's all they've known. You know, although Tony had been around military, he was not actually a military person. And then, of course, the Hulk. You know, so all of these people don't have the vulnerability of Tony Stark, so that's why it affected him on this greater scale, because he took the nuclear device into the wormhole. And,
more or less died.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, well, he probably ran out of air or something, passed out. And then people are like, I remember reading and hearing about people like, oh, how did he come back in the hole? But you got to remember, there is gravity. And the wormhole would have probably sucked him in from Earth's gravity. It wasn't that high up in the air. That's why.
Or as I say, who gives a rat's ass?
Yeah, who cares?
It's a comic book movie and it's cool.
It's a movie. You know, suspend your disbelief and shut up.
And I'm a man who has spent many an hour worrying about the fictional basketball lineups of the teams in Space Jam. So if I don't care, then you shouldn't care.
Yeah. So I like that part of it. That human element and the twist in this movie, which you don't like.
I hate it.
Was that Ben Kingsley's Mandarin is not the Mandarin.
There's a guy who takes really stinky poops.
Yeah. he is this stupid actor.
Named Trevor, of all things! Sorry.
Named Trevor. Yeah.
My fiance and I have decided that when there's a twist that ruins a movie, we're going to say, wow, they really shat at Kingsley there.
And while you didn't like it, I thought it was at least interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting if they had another villain to back it up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Guy Pearce was a horrible
in a sense, though, I mean, it almost kind of makes sense. I mean, if you cast Ben Kingsley as your main villain, you know you're not having Ben Kingsley fist fighting Iron Man.
No, but I mean, he was a terrorist. I mean, you're not going to have Osama bin Laden fist fighting the...
so obviously he needs a secondary guy to be the final battle.
Yeah, which was fine if they would have kept him as the main villain, because Guy Pearce just wasn't menacing. Yeah. Especially when he breathed fire out of his mouth. I literally laughed out loud.
Yeah, that was...
Literally, just one point, just turns and goes, ah, and just shoots fire out of his mouth.
Like Don Cheadle's trying to escape, and he's like, ah.
Yeah, he looks like the dinosaur in Jurassic Park that attacks Newman.
Yeah, the Dilophosaurus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so, that plot device, the whole, sheep and wolf's clothing in this case, where he's just an actomite,
I think how you feel about that twist is how you're going to ultimately feel about that movie.
Yeah.
If you roll with that, then cool.
If you're a hardcore Iron Man Marvel nerd, you hate it.
Probably, yeah.
You hate the hell out of it because you wanted to see the Mandarin with all his rings and his powers that he gets from some mystical thing.
I don't really care about that. I've read some Iron Man comics, and for the most part, Iron Man comics are terrible. The best thing to ever happen to the Iron Man franchise is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, he has no villains in the comics that are cool. I mean, the Mandarin's okay, but he was way cooler in the movie until he was a guy with stinky poops.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a little strange. I definitely enjoyed the action sequences in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of them were really well done. I love the rescue of the people
on the plane
that had been sucked out of the plane.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just ridiculously awesome. And when I saw the preview for that, I was just like,
yeah.
I can't wait to see how it did in Iron Patriot.
Don Cheadle's not War Machine anymore. His suit is more patriotic. And
looks like redesigned for a PC life. So,
Yeah.
Though, in the plot line, it's like, AIM was a part of it because they wanted to mess with them and use the suit to do their bidding. Again, somebody exploiting a Tony Stark suit or design.
Yeah.
That seems to be the common theme in the Iron Man
movies.
Really is. It's almost at a point where it's like, you almost got to get rid of Iron Man to get rid of the bad guys because everybody's using the Iron Man against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... We got that, and then...
I thought the assault on his home was pretty badass.
Oh, that was crazy. And we get to see Pepper Potts put on the Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were confused, by I love the trailers leading up to this movie, because they definitely don't give you everything, and they just give you enough to make you go, well, maybe this, and then you're wrong.
Definitely made it look like it was going to be a better movie.
Yeah, because it made it look like...
It was going to be dark.
Yeah, it looked like the Iron Man suit had its own mind and it was doing stuff.
It kind of did it. That scene where it wanted to attack her in bed.
Yeah.
But it was freaking out or whatever.
Yeah, because he was having a nightmare.
Yeah,
he thought
that's right.
The machine thinks he's being attacked, so it's coming to his rescue. And in that same case, you think, you see that clip, and then you see in the preview, him being face to face with the thing, and you think, it's attacking Tony or something. But when you find out that the thing's collapsing, and the sweet part is that Iron Man can make his suit go onto other people.
Yeah.
And he does his little hand gesture and he puts it on Pepper to protect her from the explosion, which is pretty cool because all of a sudden she knows how to use the suit.
It's kind of the logical progression of that scene in Avengers where he was going out the window and he had the little wrist bracelet that made the suit come to him.
Yeah.
It's like he had upgraded from that even more, give it more control over.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to be stuck in that situation. Because I was watching on IGN, they were talking about the things he's had to go through, being thrown through a plane glass window. Falling inevitably to his death is the idea, and so he's gone through so much. He needed something more of a security blanket, and then of course we see this. Oh shit! Hang on, I forgot. What is it again?
Who?
The virus.
Extremis.
The Extremis Project.
Which, funny enough, the Legos for the movie gave away months before it came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they gave away a couple major plots.
So the Extremis thing makes these super soldiers. They have super strength. They can jump around like monkeys, and
they're kind of fire people.
And then basically they turn into fire breathing a-holes.
Yeah,
because they all have this like a-hole mentality.
Yeah.
All the characters, the sidekick guy to Guy Pearce's character, kind of had this a-hole approach.
He's always chewing gum too.
Yeah, which is a little distracting.
Oh, it was weird.
And of course, you see Happy. He has his first thing with that guy, and he was the catalyst for the discovering what's going on, with an amazing CGI recreation of the scene. And the technology is obviously in the realm of movies, and it's crazy good, like just way too good. No, I don't know if it'll ever be that good. He can read a dog tag that's on the ground on a crime scene photo or something. That's crazy.
And like the second one, he found that hidden message from his dad in the thing that he put there or whatever.
Well, the atom or whatever that he had not the technology to create.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what'd you think about Gwyneth Paltrow getting the Extremis?
I saw that coming.
Yeah,
that was pretty obvious.
Yeah, well, when she fell into the fire, I was like, she's not dead. There's like and I think they knew that people weren't going to fall for that. Because you didn't see Tony like go or anything. He was just like, "I'm gonna kick your ass now." Suck this. But he
kind of defeats the whole purpose of being Iron Man because he doesn't have the suit on. And he's like, "I'm a super action hero." Well, in the first one, he's just a normal dude who's kind of a puss if he doesn't have his suit on. And in this one, he doesn't have his suit and he's just kind of kicking ass with Don Cheadle.
Yeah,
Don Cheadle's a military guy, so I buy that.
Yeah, well, he's got training.
Yeah,
I mean, you could tell in the second movie when he's working with Happy, he's kicking him and then kicking the crap out of him.
Scarlett Johansson beats the hell out of both of them.
Throws him into a flying armbar into a leg choker on the head.
Mortal Kombat stuff.
Yeah. I felt that it was interesting that you actually see Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper actually, using this power, and she's actually the person who kills the bad guy.
Did she kill him in the end?
Yeah, because she picked up she picked up one of those giant artillery shells and smacked it, like baseballed it over there and blew it up on him and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a crazy sort of thing. But the coolest thing in this movie, I think any of you watching this, and I think you may agree, was the Iron Man army.
Yeah.
That it was just like, Don Cheadle's standing there like, well, what the hell are we going to do, There's all these extremist soldiers everywhere. How are we going to fight them by ourselves and all? And, Tony's like playing it off and all of a sudden, all these, it's like, oh, this is what you do with all your free time.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the joke. And also the part of the whole deal is like, I'm a mechanic or whatever. And that's what I do.
I don't get why they didn't go in suits, though, if you had them at the ready.
Yeah. But overall, a solid movie, although obviously there's some disappointing moments for people. The magazine, the comic fans will be a little disappointed, as you may have. I liked it.
I thought it was just bland. I thought it wasn't like any other superhero movie.
Yeah, and hopefully there's a reason for all that. Because obviously they're tying all these in together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
So there may be a play into,
Thor 2.
Well, that's kind of...
What the hell is the bad guy in Thor 2? Darkness?
No, it's like an elf king guy.
What?
Yeah.
Legolas?
Yeah, Legolas is he's the bad guy. No, it's Sauron the Great. He's come to a new world.
Yeah.
to conquer. So, all right. Well, I think we've talked about just about anything we can. What's your
I'd give it a C.
C? That's pretty hard.
Yeah, wasn't that great.
You were not entertained.
I wasn't. It was okay for the first hour and 20, and then the last is just like any other bland superhero movie.
Yeah. Well, I want to give it a 4, but it's probably a very weak 4, like a 3. Well, it's like a 3 3/4 out of 5. Yeah, there were some things that Well, I appreciate a good twist. I kind of wanted to see
Bruce
something.
Willis is dead.
Oh God. Yeah, I wanted to see something different with the Mandarin. They made such a big deal about the Mandarin, and I felt that kind of was a letdown. That he was just this figurehead, and his little videos were all epic and stuff, and then just be like, gone. You know?
It's just in Guy Pearce's basement or whatever.
Yeah, and it just felt like a waste of time to even use that character. Especially,
I did like the scene where he goes to the hardware store and buys all that crap to electrocute people.
Oh yeah,
because
I like
Tony Stark would be able to create
Tony
some
Stark
sweet-ass
as a
homemade, militia weapons.
Yeah, as a spy basically at that point. So we thought it was okay, not the greatest, obviously in the series. Definitely, probably the most action packed of the 3 Iron Man movies. Hopefully, this will all lead to something good with the next Avengers movie. That
2015.
Who knows if everybody's going to be on that one with all the disputes over pay and everything. I blame Robert Downey Jr. for that one.
I think everybody's back for Avengers 2. I don't see Avengers 3 ever happening.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure they're contractually obligated for 2.
Yeah. Looking forward to Captain America 2, Thor 2.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which
has Andy Dwyer, Chris Pratt from...
With a raccoon running around.
Yeah, talking space raccoon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's got to be something. So Marvel's definitely got a lot of things coming in the future that we're looking forward to.
Bring back Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
Yeah, just redo Punisher. If you want to. I won't even care if they never do it again.
I like the last one for what it was. Just exploding head wounds.
Oh, God. That was a straight to DVD movie for sure.
Totally was.
And it's like one of those movies where you go, that's Marvel?
Oh, X-Men Days of Future Past. It's not technically Marvel now because Fox owns it, but it's a Marvel characters.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I also enjoyed was a preview for Wolverine.
Really? I think that's going to be a mess.
Really?
I hope not, but I think it might be.
It might be a little bit of a mess.
Will.i.am's not in it, so it can't be as bad as the first one.
But holy crap, did you see Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, he's pretty ripped.
Okay, we're going off on a little tangent before we go here. But the guy, like they reported that he was just, like he was beefing up. Because obviously, if you're a fan of Marvel, you know that Wolverine is not a 6'4", lean, muscular guy. No,
Originally,
he's like,
they wanted Glenn Danzig to play him because he's short.
Yeah, he's a short guy.
God, that would have been awesome. Who's
just hugely muscular, and he really worked hard on trying to fit that bill this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking forward to it because I'm a huge Wolverine fan.
I'll see it.
Yeah, and we'll let you know what we think.
I keep forgetting that's coming out this year.
Yeah. Also, another movie looking forward to is the second installment of Lord of the Rings Hobbit series.
What is that? November, December?
December. So, we got a lot of movies coming out this year.
And next week, Star Trek.
Next week, Star Trek. Yes, Into Darkness. I watched the first one again recently, and I was... It was okay.
It's an origin movie, so they're kind of constrained.
Yeah.
They're kind of constrained. I think they can do really good stuff now.
It's a redone origin.
Yeah. So they're kind of constrained. I mean, like, all the action's really good. J.J. Abrams really needs to lay off the lens flare.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that as he is, but I think they can do some really good stuff with the second one. Now
definitely looking forward to that. And look for videos, hopefully covering those movies.
And Pacific Rim. Holy crap.
Yeah. A lot of good movies coming out this year, so look for more of these in the future. Lots of blockbusters. We've only just begun the season. It's May and it's movie time. And thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with us for however long this has been. I think this is our longest video yet. Mm-hmm. Have a good day and happy watching.
Yeah. Go Blackhawks.
again with the sports at the end of the video.
And have some.